Hi, I'm Nick Shell with Family Friendly Daddy Blog. Let's talk about Spider-Man Homecoming, the new Spider-Man movie here in 2017. As a parent, you're wondering, can I take my kids to see this movie? I'm going to tell you just the overview, let you sort that out because you're the parent, not me. Well, I am a parent, but not my own kids, not yours. Let's look at this on three basic levels as far as finding out if it's appropriate, because these days, any movie that's going to make money is going to be rated PG-13. If it's rated R, less people watch it. If it's rated PG, less people watch it because they think it's too, it's just too Land Before Time-ish, you know what I'm saying? PG-13, those are the good movies being made, right? So, let's talk about a few things. Sex, violence, and language. I think those are ultimately the things that help parents decide if this movie is appropriate for them. So let's just quickly go over this. As far as sexual situations, if I were grading this on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe 2, and it'd be more of certain dialogue that said that you'd have to even understand it to know what's going on. Not something that most kids are going to even understand what's going on. Violence, of course there's violence. It's a comic book movie. But like all comic book movies that are rated PG-13, are you going to see any blood in this? I don't remember any blood. That's what they do. They take the blood out of it, and there's just, all this stuff. And so there's violence, of course, but not like guns and machine guns and people's arms being sliced. None of that. Here's the thing, I guess, that you might be concerned about with this movie. The language. Out of all the PG-13 rated comic book superhero movies, amazingly, I feel like this has some of the just most reoccurring language in it. There's not really an F word in it. There's not like GD in it. But there's just minor words that are said all the way through it. And it's funny because I think, in part, maybe the concept was Spider-Man is a teenager. And maybe they didn't want this to be like just, a squeaky clean movie about a high school kid and it's telling the same story, which it doesn't. It's a different narrative of Spider-Man and a different really plot and everything. But I think to make it more adult-like, there is constant profanity through this. Of course, again, the profanity we're talking about more of those lighter words. I mean, they do say a-hole in there a couple times. But ultimately, I guess it comes down to what curse words do your child know? Do they know any? Because if they don't know any, then I guess they don't know what they're hearing. And I think that's one of these things that makes this so relative to how you parent and what you've taught them so far and what age they are. There's this paradox in that the older they get, the more they know, right? But if they're younger, then they know less. But it's like, are you exposing them too much? Well, that's what I've got to say about this movie. I think you're going to be more worried about the language than you are anything. And that's how PG-13 rated kids, family, action, Marvel, Superman movies play out. It's these three things: sex, language, violence. And they don't have all the levels up. They just kind of play with those levels, kind of like a soundboard guide, kind of adjusting the levels. So in this movie, it would be, by default, the language would be the highest to worry about. The sex would be like barely non-existent, and then the violence would be a little above middle, like that. So this is more of it's more action though. I don't want to make it seem like it's some kind of bloody movie. It's more about the language that makes it PG-13 more than anything. So if anything's going to bother you as a parent, it's going to be that. Now, I'm going to let you sort that out. Again, if the kids don't know what the words that they're hearing, then I guess that's one less thing to worry about if that's the main thing, right? So, I'm Nick Shell. I'm with Family Daddy Blog. That's what I think you need to know as a parent about Spider-Man Homecoming, which is rated PG-13.